My parents laughed while my sister shoved me so hard I hit the marble floor right in the middle of the hotel lobby. I remember the sound of their laughter echoing around me like it was a joke. I remember my sister saying, "Kevin, stop acting. Poor, get up." And I remember the hotel guests turning to stare, whispering like I was nothing. If you're still watching, make sure to like, share, and subscribe because what happened next flipped everything. I pushed myself up, my palms burning. My pride ripped apart, and all three of them stood over me like this was entertainment. My mom actually smirked and said, "This is why we don't take you anywhere fancy." My dad nodded like he agreed, like I was embarrassing them. And my sister just rolled her eyes, acting like she hadn't just shoved me in front of half the lobby. But what they didn't know, what they never bothered to ask, was that I wasn't there because of them. I was there because I had business in that same 5-star hotel. Real business, the kind they wouldn't believe even if I screamed it. In their faces, my sister kept pushing, saying, "Get up before people think we brought a stray." And that line burned inside me like gasoline. I looked at them, my own family laughing like my pain was entertainment. Like I was always going to be the loser in their story. But not today, because while they were judging my clothes, my cheap phone, my simple life, I was holding something in my jacket pocket that could change the entire room. Something they would never expect from the son they always called useless. I wiped the dust from my hands and said, "You sure you want to keep talking like that? You sure you don't want to be a little nicer right now?" They burst into louder laughter, which was perfect, because they had no idea this hotel wasn't theirs to mock me in less than 5 minutes. They were going to regret treating me like trash. Then my phone buzzed, and the message on the screen made my eyes widen. My life-changing moment had arrived, and they were standing right in front of me. The message on my phone flashed one line that flipped my heartbeat. "Kevin, the board is ready for you. Private elevator is waiting." My parents saw the notification light up, but of course, they didn't care enough to read it. My sister just scoffed and said, "Wow, fake business meetings now. Cute." I slipped the phone back into my pocket and kept my face calm, because the more they underestimated me, the sweeter the next twist would hit. My dad stepped closer, lowering his voice like he was disappointed in me again. "Don't embarrass us, Kevin. Let the hotel staff think we belong here." I almost laughed. Them belong here? They didn't even know the general manager knew my name. My sister grabbed my arm. "You better behave when we meet Aunt Linda. She's paying for the dinner, not you." I wanted to say the truth so badly, that the dinner they were bragging about, the reservation they were worshipping, it wasn't paid by Aunt Linda. It was paid by me. Under my company's account, but I kept quiet. Silence was always my weapon. We walked forward, and just as they reached the grand doors of the main dining hall, my sister whispered, "Try not to look poor when we walk in." That was it. That word again, poor, the same word they used when I stayed up nights building my business. The same word they threw at me when I ate leftovers to save money. The same word they used when they told the world I'd never be someone. I took a slow breath, because the perfect moment was coming. Right then, a hotel staff member jogged toward us. "Excuse me, sir?" My mom turned, lifting her chin proudly, assuming he was talking to my dad. But the worker walked right past them and stopped directly in front of me. Double quote, "Sir Kevin," he said respectfully, "your private elevator is prepared. The board is waiting upstairs." They said not to delay. My parents froze. My sister's mouth opened, but no sound came out. People around us turned to stare. The worker continued, "Should I escort your guests as well, or leave them here?" My heart was steady, calm. This was the moment everything shifted. I looked at my family, finally silent for the first time in years. And I said, "Guests? No, they're not with me." Their faces cracked instantly. And before they could respond, the worker added something that made them go pale. "Sir, the shareholders said the meeting can't start without you since you're the owner." My mom's hand slipped off the door handle. My dad stumbled a step back. My sister looked like she forgot how to blink. I finally smiled. Then the worker turned to me and whispered, "Sir, we have one more problem." The dining hall staff wants to confirm something about the VIP room you booked. I frowned. What problem? He gulped. It's your family. They're already inside, but they used the wrong name. They claimed they were the ones who paid for the room. My breath stopped for a second. They didn't just mock me. They stole credit for my reservation. And now the truth was about to explode right in their faces. Before I could answer, the manager himself came rushing toward us looking angry. Something massive had just happened inside that room, and my family was at the center of it. The manager stormed toward us with a tight jaw, his eyes blazing like someone had crossed a line, a big one. My mom straightened her blouse fast, pretending she belonged in this chaos. My dad tried to smile, like he was an important guest. My sister flipped her hair back like royalty. They had no idea the fire was coming straight for them. Sir Kevin, the manager said, ignoring my entire family, we have a serious issue in the VIP room your company booked. My parents' faces twitched at the word your company. The manager continued. These three entered 20 minutes early and told the staff the reservation was theirs, under their name. My mom jumped in instantly. Well, yes, that's correct. This is a family reservation. The manager raised a hand sharply. Ma'am, that room is only for our top-tier black card holders, and your card declined. All 3 times. My sister gasped and pointed at me. He was supposed to pay. Why would his name be on anything here? Before I could speak, the manager turned to her and said, because he paid for the entire VIP floor. Silence. Cold, heavy silence. The kinda hits harder than a slap. My dad blinked, confused. Wait, what? He paid. How could he afford that? The manager looked offended. Sir, Kevin is one of our highest status members. We don't question his accounts. My family turned toward me like they'd just seen a ghost, but I wasn't done. What exactly happened in the VIP room? I asked. The manager sighed. Your family caused a scene. They kept demanding free champagne, saying they were the investors. They insulted our staff. And then he paused like it was too embarrassing to say. They tried to kick out another family who actually belonged in the room. My sister folded her arms. They looked poor. We were just helping keep standards.
The manager's
face went red. Ma'am, that family is a group of international partners worth hundreds of millions. And they were offended enough to consider canceling their investment with Mr. Kevin's company. My parents froze. My sister's face drained white. I felt my chest tighten, not from fear, but from rage boiling up after years of disrespect. So because of them, I said slowly, I might lose an 8-figure partnership? The manager nodded. Yes, unless you fix it immediately. My parents stepped toward me suddenly, desperation replacing their arrogance. Kevin, we didn't know. Son, it was a misunderstanding. Kev, you didn't tell us you were doing things. Their voices trembled like they were losing everything, not because they cared about me, but because they realized I was the only one with real power here. I kept my voice calm. You walked into a room you didn't pay for. You pretended you were someone you're not. You insulted people who were supposed to trust me. My sister swallowed hard. So, what happens now? The manager looked at me, waiting for my call. The entire situation was in my hands. I stepped closer to my family, lowered my voice, and said, You want to know what happens now? They leaned in. I smirked. Now, you face the consequences. But before I could speak another word, a woman stepped out of the private elevator, one of the investors, and pointed directly at my family. Is this the rude group who insulted my children? She demanded. The woman stepped out of the elevator like a storm, sharp eyes, commanding presence. Zero tolerance for nonsense. My family shrank back instantly. Even my sister, who never shut up, went completely silent. The woman pointed straight at them. RCS, the people who called my children cheap and out of place. My mom's lips trembled. We didn't know. The woman cut her off. You didn't know they were my children. Or you didn't know the price of your own ignorance. Every person in the lobby turned to watch. My dad tried to paste a smile on his face. Ma'am, we're Kevin's family. There must be some confusion, the investor snapped. There's no confusion. You humiliated my family, in his reservation. Paid with his money, in a hotel where he holds top status. My stomach turned when the two kids, maybe 10 and 12, peeked from behind her. They looked scared, confused, hurt. That was it. That was the moment something inside me snapped clean in half. I stepped between my family and the woman. I am so sorry they treated you that way. My business relies on respect, and this wasn't it. She nodded, but her jaw was tight. I appreciate that, Kevin. But your family said some horrible things. I was ready to cancel our deal. My heart dropped. Years of work slipping away because of them. The manager bowed to the woman, apologizing. My mom reached for my arm, whispering, Kevin, don't let this fall apart because of one small mistake. I pulled my arm away. One small mistake? I said, my voice cold. You insulted children. You bullied your way into a room you didn't pay for. You embarrassed my company. This isn't small, for once. They had no comeback. The investor crossed her arms. The only reason I haven't walked away yet is because of Kevin's work ethic. But this, she pointed at my family, this behavior is unacceptable. My sister lunged forward suddenly. We didn't know he was successful. If we knew, we would have acted better. The entire lobby fell silent. The woman raised an eyebrow. Oh? So respect comes from money, not decency? My sister's face crumbled. I closed my eyes for a second, breathing in, breathing out. This was spiraling. Fast. I needed control back. Ma'am, I said firmly, please allow me 10 minutes to fix this, privately. She hesitated. Then nodded. Double quotes, 10 minutes, Kevin, not one more. She walked away with her children, leaving the air heavy and sharp around us. My parents turned to me instantly. Kevin, fix this. You can't lose that deal. Tell her we didn't mean it. You should have told us you were successful. You should have warned us. I stared at them, almost laughing. Warn them about their own behavior? I stepped closer, my voice dangerously calm. You mocked me when I had nothing. And now you risk everything I built. And you still think I'm the problem? My dad swallowed hard. What? What are you going to do? I looked at the elevator. The investor was waiting upstairs. The board was waiting. The deal was waiting. But so was something else. A choice. A line. A moment I couldn't step back from. I faced my family. You want to know what I'm going to do? I said softly. Their eyes locked on me, terrified, and I smiled. First, I'm going to tell the truth. I turned away from them, ready to expose everything. But then the manager ran up to me, out of breath. Sir, something happened upstairs. The investor wants to speak to you immediately. She said it's about your family. I rushed into the private lounge upstairs, expecting the investor to be angry, but she was calm. Almost too calm. She looked at me and said, Kevin, before we continue, your family tried to follow me in. Security stopped them. My jaw tightened. They what? She nodded. They demanded we let them stay. They said you owed them. They said your success came from them raising you. Of course they did, even at rock bottom. They still thought they owned the ground I stood on. I took a breath. I'm ready to fix this. She gestured toward the glass wall overlooking the lobby. Then say what you need to say. I want to see who you really are. So I walked to the railing. My family was below, looking up at me like I held their fate because I did. I spoke loud enough for the entire staff and half the lobby to hear. I worked in silence for years. Not one of you supported me. Not one of you believed in me. You mocked me, insulted me, treated me like trash. And today, I pointed down at them. You didn't just disrespect me. You disrespected people who trusted me. My mom's knees wobbled. My dad held the railing. My sister shook her head, whispering, Kevin, please, but I kept going. I won't lose the future I built because of your past behavior. From today on, you're not part of my business, or my success, or my decisions. Gasps echoed through the lobby. My sister burst into tears. My dad whispered, Kevin, don't do this. But their words didn't reach me anymore. I turned to the investor. My deal stands. My family doesn't. She studied me for a long second, then smiled. Good. That's the leader I wanted to invest in. She shook my hand. The partnership was safe. My work protected. Down below. Security approached my family politely. Ma'am, sir, miss, this area is restricted. Please exit the hotel. I watched them get escorted out, not angrily. Not happily, just peacefully. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't the underdog in their story. I was the one writing my own ending.